My name's Alex Paullin. I graduated from JMU after a 5th year in 2014, and shortly after that I started an organization called Conservation Music. And we're trying to reach the people who sort of need information about environmental sustainability the most, but are receiving it the least. And when they do receive it, they might receive it in a way that they just don't identify with. So what we're doing, we're trying to reach these vulnerable communities in developing countries, particularly in southern Africa at the moment, though we're slowly moving northward. But we're trying to reach them through music. One of my favorite productions for conservation music so far was actually the first one. It took place shortly after I departed Botswana, where all of this began. It was in the village of Malialia. Got a close relationship there, especially with the traditional musicians who live in that village. But what we did was we created a song based on a true story of a man named Fanuel Musi. So Ntate Musi was on his way to the capital city on his pony one day when he was confronted by this massive torrent of muddy water cutting through his landscape. When the rain stopped and the land dried up, he fastened a leather apron and started carrying stones one at a time to fill this massive gully that had opened up in his garden. He applied his effort and his belief that he could fix the problem, and now it's one of the most beautiful places in Malialia. So it's this total success story of the individual living out there in the village, taking it on themselves to become part of the solution to the problem that they and their neighbors are facing, and doing it successfully. So we tell that story through music. The opening line of the song is Haubatlawe Sadinto Sentle Ukanka Sipone Waiche Bakamachrom, which in Sesotho means, if you want to see beautiful things, you can take a look in the mirror and look within. And so the message here is that no matter what one's situation might be, no matter how wealthy or how poor, where somebody lives, every single one of us can look within ourselves, find that special aspect of who we are, that odd combination of passions, talents, and experiences, and apply that light to becoming part of the solution that we need to the massive problems we're facing as a species and as a planet. Conservation music found me. I had spent 5 years here at JMU studying geographic science, geology, environmental science, and environmental studies, and jazz studies. I had 4 minors. I managed to finish 3 of them. It was an atypical track, but I knew I wanted this breadth of knowledge. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I was caught in the middle of, my lifelong passion of music that I began at the age of 6, and my more recent passion of the environment. So I was caught in the middle of these 2 divergent passions and kind of stuck between the 2, leaning towards one, leaning towards the other. But it occurred along the river with a group called the National Geographic Okavango Wilderness Project. Shortly after graduating, I did an internship at National Geographic, thanks to an email I got from the Geographic Science Department. 4 months later, our canoe expedition finished its journey from the headwaters of the Okavango in Angola through Namibia's Caprivi Strip and down into Botswana, where we literally paddled until the water ran out in the middle of the Kalahari Desert. And somewhere over the course of that expedition, I realized that these 2 divergent passions of music and conservation were always meant for me to find the middle. I didn't have to choose between music and conservation, that I could put the 2 together. I could start it immediately where I was, which was in a developing part of the world that has a lot of need for sustainable living. And after the expedition ended, I moved into a small village on the edge of the Okavango Delta and started making conservation music. I would find musicians. I had a guitar. It's not that hard to find musicians when you're one yourself. You just show up and play. We would talk about some of the issues that people were facing in their country with regards to their interactions with the environment. We would talk about this unique power of music to leave imprints on the mind that stay with you forever. And then we would start to write music about how we could be part of the solution as musicians.
Mwenendo we utukwete wano mwichima we